And we're live. What's good, Ohio Cannabis Report family? It's your boy Gerald Moore Jr. Back with another episode of the Ohio Cannabis Report. Hope you guys are having a good day, good week. Happy New Year's, happy 2026. Chris Brown describing the mental and financial toll Ohio's legal battle over cannabis has caused in his life. Senate Bill 56, establishing new regulations surrounding cannabis and intoxicating hemp products, was signed into law by Governor DeWine earlier this month. DeWine's office says the goal is to prevent the sale to minors and only allow licensed medical dispensaries to operate. In this case, Brown says the state is overreaching and that his store primarily caters products to elderly people who are uncomfortable in medical dispensaries.
I have, people in positions that they just don't get sleep gummies and stuff, but they don't want to go to a medical facility. They don't want to be going in there. They like being able to, just come to the local store and pick up their CBD or what they need.
Since its signing into law, multiple advocate organizations have lobbied against
It's catching up on some news. But as the title says, Ohio Governor and GOP roll back legal weed. This show is for entertainment purposes, educational purposes only. Again, I am not a lawyer. I am not a part of the cannabis industry, just as a disclaimer. This is a passion project. So apparently somebody's hit me up earlier saying that I was spreading fake news about the industry. I called for a boycott of OCAN companies, which, again, if you've been paying attention, you know who OCAN is. And so, again, I proposed a boycott of OCAN companies because OCAN and their executive director, Adrian Robbins, has been one of the biggest lobbying voices at the State House to end the hemp program, also to try to end, home grow, tier 3 craft grow. And so people are upset, of course. But that's to be expected. Obviously, there's a lot going on in Ohio's cannabis industry. People are trying to stake their claim. People are trying to make as much money as possible before, everybody has access to the industry. And so, again, when people get in their feelings and it's business, especially as a blogger, I guess I'm not even a journalist. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at myself as a journalist. I'm really just blogging and curating content, and sharing things from my perspective and building community and all that jazz. Like, I don't even make no money from this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even trying to, if people want to donate, well, I'll accept donations for sure. Because the work can be taxing. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of information to go through. A lot of articles to read, a lot of videos to watch, a lot of bills and stuff like that. So, again, I do this when the little bit of time I have, you know what I mean, free, when I'm not spending time with my kids and my family. So, this is something that just kind of fell into my lap. So I want to thank everybody that's subscribed to the channel. I think we have about 172 subs. Thanks to everybody who's liked, commented, watched a second of a video. You're appreciated. You know what I mean? And so I don't have an agenda with this right now. Obviously, for me, it would be great to brand it and turn it into something cool, some type of business that, supports the cannabis community in a real way, right? Like, I don't really like how these corporations currently running in the cannabis industry, they're not really family oriented, community oriented, right? Like, they're not doing anything to really help the communities that they're serving. And so I just have a problem with that. And so, again, they could create their own media companies, right? Like, none of them are sponsoring me. None of them are giving me money. None of them are inviting me to see, like, any of the stuff that they got going on. You know what I mean? I don't affiliate with none of the dispensaries, cultivators, processors. I don't promote them. So for me, like a lot of this shit, you know what I mean? A lot of people, especially when you start being loud and you start, people start following, you start making some noise, you got to expect that people are going to hit back. You know what I mean? People aren't going to like the content, especially if they have a business and they're trying to sell products and services and you tell people to boycott their business, right? And again, it's not my fault. People is a part of OCAN, right? Like y'all made the executive decision to pay OCAN and be a part of that membership organization. And when OCAN does something, you're a part of that organization. So you got to take the whipping with them. You know what I mean? And just to let you guys know, I seen somebody in the chat. I got a text message the other night, right before New Year's, because I posted something on our Facebook or our Instagram about OCAN and boycotting OCAN and OCAN companies. And one of the workers, one of the family-owned businesses, is a black family-owned business. I'll say it, Mavunu. And one of the family members hit me up and basically, because we've talked before, but he basically hit me up and said he didn't appreciate me being disrespectful by saying boycott OCAN. Now, I didn't specifically point out Mavunu, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, I'll show y'all the. Let me pull up my Canva real quick. I'll show y'all like, and I don't even get into gossiping and shit. Like that shit is weird. Like I literally just shared the news. Let me see, I think it's I'll find that later, but yeah, essentially, you know, I put a list of the co-sponsors from Ohio SB 56, so the state representatives, state senators, all the people that co-sponsored SB 56, and then OCAN. I explained how OCAN is involved in lobbying at the state house for the cannabis industry. And so I just literally put a screenshot. I took OCAN's logo off their website, put that up there, put a little circle with the line through it, and then I also screenshotted all of the companies that are a part of OCAN. Like I didn't go out individually and was like, oh, I don't like this company, I'm gonna put this in there. I don't like this company, I'm gonna put them in there. No. I grouped them all together just how they are on the website. All right, screenshot, boom. 30, it's 20 companies. So I just put all those on there. And this goofball decides to text me saying that I was spreading fake news. Now, again, I get some of these companies, they're creating jobs. They're providing economic something to the community. But I also understand that cannabis industry is way larger, way more diverse, way more I don't know the word, but than what the cannabis industry is really doing, right? Like they're hoarding the industry, right? Like they are trying to control and stifle the industry before it ever even opens up, right? You think you think they want craft growers? You think they want real deal growers competing with them? No, they don't. You know what I mean? You think they want somebody that's able to grow some fire in their garage competing with them? No. But this is why the people have to fucking stand the fuck up, right? And so I do see that there's a referendum, and I think, we'll be able to get the votes. But again, we have to, you can also use your voice, man. Like call these people out. These people are fucking losers. That's the beautiful thing about social media and the internet. You could call a motherfucker loser out, bro. These people are losers. These politicians, losers. A lot of these business owners, losers. You know what I mean? Like you gonna come after a blogger before you go after the governor. Like just people gotta really start understanding. You gotta like this dude, his family runs a multi-million-dollar company and he worried about what I got to say. buddy, you got bigger problems than me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm a washed former NFL free agent and college athlete. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking shit on the internet about cannabis industry because there's a bunch of bullshit going on. But to see that people, obviously people are paying attention. And again, when you start making shit shake, you start making noise, people get a little nervous. And again, I don't, and this particular person, this particular company, I left their family business out of a lot of shit. Like, I've been watching the family business for a while, and I've been wondering what's going on over here. They had the lawsuit, had the settlement, they lost most of the company. And, I wasn't going to say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I invited them on. I wanted to talk to them, get more information. But, I've had open invitations for people to come on the platform, share their stories. Like, this is an open platform. This is the internet. It's YouTube, right? Like, I don't have no bias, like, for real. So for people to get mad at me or have something to say about me, like, start your own fucking podcast, start your own YouTube channel, start your own Instagram page. Like, shit is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't point people out. And then you texting me. Now I gotta put you out there. You should have just left the shit alone. Nobody would have even said nothing. It wouldn't even been a big deal. But now it's a big deal. And now every time I come online, I'm bringing that shit up. Because it's just like I'm petty like that. I get annoyed. You know what I mean? And I was trying to be civilized in this space. Clearly, people don't like civilized. Clearly, you got to go the fuck off. You got to let people know. And that's why I don't fuck with a lot of people. That's why I stay away from a lot of people. That's why I never got into the bullshit, because everybody want they shine. And I get it. You know what I mean? But you step to me the wrong way, you will get punched in the fucking mouth. So I don't do that. Like, you don't text me damn near threatening. You know what I mean? That's what you're not gonna do. Especially when I don't know you like that. You know what I mean? Like, niggas, y'all got to do better business. How about that? If you're gonna be in business, you should be doing better business. Why would your company pay for a membership for an organization like OCAN and then get mad when people talk about OCAN? Like, you're a fucking idiot. It's like these people getting mad when people go to the fucking dispensaries and be video recording. Don't video record me. It's 30 cameras outside and inside. You're on camera everywhere you go. It's flock cameras everywhere. You drove past 10 flock cameras. Got your whole license plate, got everything right on there. The stop sign. Like, come on, man. We've been under surveillance in America for fucking forever. And if you black, you've been under surveillance for a long time. So again, welcome to our world. But it's weird, you know what I mean? People just, this new age we're in. I don't give a fuck. Like, black, brown, yellow, pink, purple. And this cannabis shit, cannabis is special, man. And a lot of these cannabis business folks then came in and they're not doing anything for the community. They're not taking none of that money, putting it back into the community, creating programming. They literally took social equity out of the fucking issue too. I want to do a refresher on OCAN since Buddy got me hot now. We're going to do a refresher on OCAN. See, that's why I really don't try to get into this shit, man. But people just, some people just force your hand. Some people force your hand with shit, you know what I mean? And then you just got to quadruple down. Because then, like, I'm the type of person like, I must be on to something. Because when shit starts shaking like that, I get real excited. I'm like, oh, niggas is paying attention. Because sometimes I just be doing shit, right? I really don't be expecting people to pay attention to what the fuck I'm doing. I literally just create. Like, I don't really mind all the other, because there's too much. You can get caught up in the noise. You can get caught up in the comments. You can get caught up in the production value. Oh, the production's not as high as quality. Like, fuck all of that shit, bro. Point and shoot. Talk the shit, right? So I'm the type, like, I really don't pay attention, like, who's watching. But when you text my fucking phone, first of all, when you text my phone after 5 p.m., you want to talk about disrespectful, nigga. That's disrespectful. Don't ever text a nigga phone past 6 o'clock. Especially not with no nonsense. I gotta show y'all this message though. like, what, you texting me at 8:19, bro, p.m. on New Year's? Talking about some fake news? Get the fuck out. So this is OCAN. Since we cover fake news on the Ohio Cannabis Report for likes, clicks, I don't do none of that clickbait and shit. That's never been my style. And I'm not a journalist. And I don't claim to be a journalist. So I'm not doing hella in-depth fucking investigations. This shit is observation, opinion-based. I've been to the state house more than a lot of other people have. I probably emailed the state representatives more than a lot of other people have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm a lobbyist or a political strategist or nothing like that. But geez Louise, man. So this is OCAN's website, working to enhance and improve the Ohio cannabis industry. So about us, the Ohio Cannabis Coalition, OCAN, is Ohio's leading trade association representing licensed cultivators, licensed processors, licensed dispensaries, licensed testing labs. OCAN was formed to advocate and educate on the behalf of our members. You see that? Does it say constituents? Does it say Ohio citizens? No. Does it say Ohio cannabis patients? Does it say Ohio veterans? No. It says our members. We got to go back to kindergarten, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, reading comprehension. This organization is not for the people. They are for business organizations, okay? Or business entities that people buy the weed from, right? They don't give a fuck about you individually. No, they want to make their companies the most money as possible. So, on the behalf of our members, we work collaboratively with the regulators. Oh my goodness. Collaboratively. They work collectively, connected to the regulators. These are the people at the state level. They work collaboratively. And the legislature, right? Oh my God, who passed Ohio SB 56? The Ohio Senate. Had to go through the Senate and the House. Had to do all that bullshit, committee meetings. Then they passed it to the governor. To enhance and improve the Ohio cannabis industry, to ensure Ohioans have consistent access to safe supply of cannabis. First of all, where the fuck were these people 6 years ago before we had a cannabis industry? Like, does anybody just like wonder, like, these things just fall out of fucking thin air and just start controlling shit? And then nobody pushes back. Everybody's just like, oh, well, you know, they're doing it. So no, where the fuck were they? Like, this organization didn't fucking exist. Cannabis was illegal 6 years ago. So then you just let some random ass organization come in and start controlling the language, the regulators, the legislators, like saying that they're advocating. No, like, we have to out these people. And these people need to be known. for what they're doing. So look, you see how they market and advertise their brands, their members, right? So let's go to their members. So this is all I did when I shared that post of boycott OCAN and their companies. I literally just took a screenshot of all the companies, right? You have Buckeye Relief, Amplify. These two are connected. Buckeye Relief is the cultivator. This is the cultivator processor. This is the dispensary, right? You have Clutch Cannabis, Firelands, Verdant. All of these dispensaries, cultivators, processors, you know, these are all people connected. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody is having a bad agenda. Like, I don't know every company's situation, but I do know if your company is under this umbrella, every company is not under this umbrella. Every cannabis company, every dispensary is not with OCAN. Every cultivator, every processor is not with OCAN. I do need to do some research to see which ones specifically aren't a part of OCAN. I don't see let me see. I don't see Zips Cannabis, which is a dispensary that was, it used to be what did it used to be? Forget the old name. But over by Easton, I don't see that on there. So yeah, I don't know. But again, they have some law firms, they have an insurance company. This is a law firm. They have CPAs, consultants. This is a tech company. They do websites. This is the company that, oh boy, his is the family owned joint that, again, I wasn't gonna point to, but now I got they hot. You know what I mean? So, but again, this company, again, multiple news clippings and articles with their executive director talking crazy. And then we'll go to their executive director so you can see who these people are. And a lot of people think, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, these people ain't paying me. Like, people be so ashamed. Like, oh my God. Like, I don't know these people. These people have a job to do. So guess what? Since their job is damage control, public relations, give they ass something, give them some work to do. So you can't even find their leadership through it. There we go. So this is their leadership. Again, all of this stuff is public information. You know what I mean? Like, he literally was the deputy superintendent of the Division of Cannabis Control, where he played a pivotal role in establishing Ohio's adult use marijuana program, with a background as the deputy chief legal counsel for the Department of Commerce. He brings extensive legal and regulatory expertise. This is Adrienne Robbins, deputy executive director. She literally was appointed to the deputy executive director early 2025. Barely a year. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are these people, bro? Like, Robbins brings a wealth of experience to OCAN, having spent years leading successful communications campaigns and navigating public policy in Ohio as a consultant. A former TV news reporter and anchor, she has a proven track record in media relations, crisis communications, and public affairs. Robbins is focused on strengthening relationships with lawmakers, regulators, and stakeholders while ensuring the organization's voice is heard in critical policy discussions. Oh my fucking God, people. Wake the fuck up, Ohio. Everybody's so fucking asleep. Everybody's so, oh my God. Oh my, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna call the fucking people out? Fucking you should be blasting all of these people, but all of y'all are so fucking scared. There's a lot of fucking pussies in Ohio. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Like, there is no law and order. There is no political correctness. This shit is fugazi, bro. These people are frauds. And the cannabis industry cannot allow this shit to stand. Oh, well, I'm just going to grow my shit. Or I'm just going to go to Michigan and do my shit. Okay. It's a very selfish mentality that a lot of people have. People will watch and say, oh my God, thank you for doing that work. No, get the fuck out of my face. You don't really support, because if you really supported, you would be out in the streets too. You would be raising hell too. But a lot of y'all are so fucking scared. Oh, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want people to think I'm crazy. I don't want to. What? If you're struggling, if you're not in the top 1%, if you've never been around the top 1%, or the top 5%, you should be raising hell. If you're working class America, if you damn near one paycheck away from not having shit, what the fuck do you have to lose? And that's what annoys me about like Ohio, man. Like people will get fucking cheer for Ohio State, the Browns, the Bengals, put all that energy and effort into some bullshit. Put that energy and effort in some real shit that's really going to impact your life. Them football programs and teams, that shit, you're going to feel good for a second. You lose, but it don't fucking affect your life. Let me look up the referendum.
So they're actually going to be out here in a few weeks to kind of train on all the equipment. So it's easy to use. They'll help you optimize the proper system for our system, how it runs. So they answer. They're there to answer any questions. Like big thing with any piece of equipment advice.
All right, so organizers launch bid to overturn Ohio's latest marijuana law changes. A technician inspects. I don't remember that. Let me see. Ohioans for Cannabis Choice is mounting a referendum effort against the new law cracking down on intoxicating hemp and making several changes to Ohio's voter-passed recreational marijuana law. If its signatures gathering efforts prove successful, Ohio voters will be asked whether to reject provisions of Ohio Senate Bill 56 next November. They'll need to collect almost 250,000 signatures to put that question on the ballot. Ohio voters approved adult use marijuana at the ballot box in November 2023. State lawmakers have been wrestling with changes to that law ever since. Wesley Bryant, the owner of 420 Craft Beverages in Cleveland, and is one of the petitioners leading the referendum campaign, called lawmakers' recent changes, quote, a slap in the face to voters who overwhelmingly voted to legalize cannabis in 2023, end quote. What's in the bill? Among SB 56 changes, lawmakers capped marijuana potency, prohibited smoking in most public places, and imposed penalties on smoking in vehicles. As a driver or a passenger bringing legal purchase marijuana into Ohio from another state, there's a typo right there, would become illegal, and Ohioans would face criminal penalties if they exceed limits on homegrown cannabis. The new law also eliminates anti-discrimination provisions related to housing, employment, and organ donation. But perhaps the biggest change for Ohio's marijuana industry is language banning intoxicating hemp outside of the licensed cannabis dispensary. Those products start from cannabis plants with very little naturally occurring THC, and then alter other compounds in a laboratory setting to create more of the chemical that makes users feel high. The prohibition brings Ohio in line with recent changes to the federal law. Governor Mike DeWine has been complaining for almost 2 years about the proliferation of intoxicating hemp products like gummies made to look like popular candy brands or other snacks. By signing SB 56, those products become illegal in March. Notably, state lawmakers had thrown a lifeline to the state's booming THC beverage industry. The bill that arrived on DeWine's desk would have allowed beverages up to 5 milligrams of THC to be produced and sold in Ohio until the end of 2026, when the federal law kicks in and they become illegal. Instead, DeWine issued a line item veto, effectively prohibiting them in March, along with other intoxicating hemp products. The referendum. Ohioans for Cannabis Choice quickly announced plans for a referendum and filed its initial batch of signatures a little more than a week after DeWine signed the legislation. Quote, in filing our petitions today, end quote, Bryan said in a statement, quote, we are taking a stand for Ohioans against politicians in Columbus and saying no to government overreach of SB 56, end quote. With petitions delivered, state officials are on the clock. The Secretary of State has 10 business days to verify the signatures, and Attorney General has the same amount of time to certify the petition summary in fair and truthful. If the petition clears those bars, organizers can begin canvassing to collect signatures. They'll need 6% of the total number of votes cast in the most recent gubernatorial election, 248,092. The group will also need 3% of an individual county's gubernatorial turnout in 44 of 88 counties. Organizers will have 90 days from the date the governor filed the law with the secretary to collect the signatures. Another petitioner, Tuscarora County hemp farmer Joseph Elwood, said ordinary Ohioans weren't asking for changes lawmakers made. Quote, Ohioans oppose recriminalizing cannabis, end quote, he said, for example, making it a crime to grow more than 6 plants, a crime to have unauthorized paraphernalia, and a crime to buy marijuana in Michigan and bring it home, end quote. Quote, and this is just the start, end quote, Elwood added. Quote, politicians in Columbus won't stop until marijuana and hemp are completely illegal in Ohio again, end quote. Andrew Green, the group's third petitioner and an employee at a Dayton distribution center, said numerous jobs are at stake if SB 56 takes effect. Quote, there are thousands of workers like me who are going to lose their jobs because SB 56 will close more than 6,000 small businesses across Ohio, end quote, Green said. Quote, it's sad because the cannabis industry, both hemp and marijuana, support legislation that will protect consumers and strengthen Ohio farmers and small businesses, end quote. He went on, quote, but these out-of-touch politicians are hell-bent on recriminalizing marijuana and hemp products, end quote. Reactions. The measure's sponsor, State Senator Steve Huffman, Republican from Tip City, expressed some sympathy for those frustrated with the bill, but portrayed several provisions as clarifications rather than wholesale changes. He pointed to the number of plants allowed for home growers as an example. Quote, we clarified the number of plants, 6 for one person, 6 for the other. That didn't change, end quote. He said of the 12-plant household limit, quote, but the way the ballot initiative was, you weren't allowed to be prosecuted till 23 plants. We still should keep that shit that way, which really didn't make sense. And 12 seemed to be what was intended, and we went with that, end quote. Lawmakers approved the expungement process, he added, and didn't work behind the scenes to hopefully streamline licensing and regulations for business owners. And Huffman questioned the motives of those behind the referendum. Although Ohio voters approved adult use marijuana, he said, much of the pushback against the bill seems to be coming from the hemp industry. Quote, the 2023 ballot initiative had absolutely zero effect on anything in the hemp industry, end quote, Huffman said. Quote, but it sounds like that's the vast majority of what people want to overturn, quote, end quote. Quote, there's some contradiction there, end quote, he added. DeWine spokesman David Tierney made a similar point. While he stressed it's the right of any Ohio citizen to pursue a referendum, the organizers claim that SB 56 goes against the will of the voters, is, quote, inconsistent, end quote. The 2023 ballot measure could have allowed marijuana sales anywhere, Tierney said, but it didn't. And so seeking the referendum to protect the sale of THC-infused beverages in bars and convenience stores doesn't protect the will of the voters. What y'all think, man? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know, what do Ohio voters want? Apparently, the politicians know what the people want. Oh, I'm sorry, Alvin. Apparently, they know what we want. But it's interesting, you know, they've been fighting us ever since really the medical program, even before the medical program. So you got to understand there's going to be a fight. We need more cannabis forward, pro cannabis politicians in the state. Obviously, Ohio is a very gerrymandered state. So the representation of the people really isn't fair, because the maps are divided up and, you know, the districts are divided up in a certain way. So again, you know, it's part of politics. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, why do we vote?" Well, you vote because, again, voting, we got it legal, right? So again, it's going to be hard for them to rewrite the law now that it is legal. It's going to be hard for them to start implementing all these laws, right? When again, they're not disseminating the information to even let people know that these laws are changing. And why are the laws changing, right? Like, but then you got to also think about like people losing jobs, right? If you close down all these hemp stores, um, you know, people are going to lose their jobs, or, you know, people getting discriminated against in housing, or discriminated against in employment, discriminated against for government benefits, right? Discriminated against in healthcare. So you got to think about, you know, the bigger picture, right? These laws, like if you got money, you got a good job that, you know, doesn't require you get drug tested, you know, you can work from home, work from your computer. You know, you got investment money, you got real estate portfolio, you good. Like I get it, you know, but everybody's not that privileged. You know, Ohio has a housing crisis right now. Right? Most people can't even afford a home, let alone rent. You know what I mean? And then, you know, again, if you don't own a home, you can't smoke in your home. Right? If you're a renter, you can't smoke in the rental property, can't smoke in your car, can't smoke outside. Where are you supposed to smoke? There's no lounges. Can't smoke at the bar. So the only people, I mean, you can smoke if you own a home, right? Like I got a yard, you know, I got a garage. If I want to roll up, if I want to vape in my house right quick. And again, people are going to do it anyway. But again, that's going to open up a lot of issues for a lot of people. And typically it's going to hurt marginalized, poor, working class Ohioans, right? People that don't have family support, don't have a lot of different job opportunities, may not have higher levels of education, may not have access to good credit, or, you know, whatever, you know, just a lot of people in Ohio are hurting, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. But I'm very open. Like I see it all the time. It's not lost on me. I mean, I go to Appalachia. My wife is from Appalachia. You know what I mean? So I see people in rural Ohio. I do work in Springfield, Ohio. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I mean, there's 5 homeless people on Morris Road right here by my crib. You know what I mean? Like there's, you know, the struggle is real for a lot of people. And you know, I feel like cannabis is something that one can help a lot of people economically, but also health wise, spiritually. And so that's why I speak up. That's why I use my platform. That's why I fight. That's why I try to expose as much um, stuff that I can. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not out here trying to bash people on purpose, but it's just weird to me, like, how this whole cannabis industry started. And then, like, you just have these fucking cannabis companies just come in and just try to overrule everything. And then there's no education. Like, there's nobody running through the state talking about some, This is what the endocannabinoid system is. This is why cannabis is important, right? Nobody, like, how many people are talking about from the state level, microdosing, right? Like, they're not even teaching you about terpenes. Like, the industry's not even teaching about terpenes. They're not even teaching about the entourage effect. They're not even teaching people how to grow. Like, if Ohio was smart, Ohio would subsidize people getting grow tents and seeds. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's 2026. So, I don't have the answers, though. You know what I mean? All I have is my little brain that I have my ideas, my perspective, and I just see what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't know how much longer I can take Ohio. It's like, I'm gonna always have some weed, so it don't matter to me. I'm one of them people, like, I could not say anything and be A-okay. You know what I mean? But I think there's way more value in relaying some of this information, because people truly don't know. Like, when people be coming to me, man, thank you for this information, I just want to be like, Google this shit. Like, it's not that hard. Like, go on the Ohio channel. You know what I mean? ohiochannel.org, I think. It's free. Like, it's literally all the state news. Go to the Ohio Capitol Journal. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple stuff, man, that, like, everybody just wants to be spoon-fed. And then you got to just give everybody just a little fucking bit, like you're a fucking baby. Like, I'm a father. Like, my kids are older now. I don't have to fucking spoon feed them. But I feel like it's a lot of fucking adults out here that are like children. You got to spoon feed them shit. Lack of critical analysis and critical thinking, lack of doing the fucking research and work. It's I get it. People are busy, but guess what? People be busy on Instagram all day at work, scrolling. Whole time you can have your headphones in and you can fucking capture and have the shit read, and you can be listening to all types of information. But people choose gossip. People choose bullshit. People choose to just watch and be an energy harvesting other people. And then be like, well, I didn't know. I didn't even know. Fuck, man. Like, these major media outlets, they're run by billionaires. They're not going to give you all of the information. You think the billionaires are going to tell on themselves? Like, you think the billionaires are going to trip each other up? Like, no. They're all in it together. That have an array of different micronutrients and also combined with some humic acids and also some. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. It's a short one, under an hour. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Ohio Cannabis Report. We have 2 Ohio Cannabis Reports on Instagram. The most active one right now is at Ohio_cannabis_report, because I can't log in directly with my phone on there on the Ohio Cannabis Report. I can get it on the computer. So I am putting more content up on the Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, I'm building out the LinkedIn. I'm going to start doing more articles and more content on our LinkedIn page. So if you go on LinkedIn, Ohio Cannabis Report. What else are we on? Substack. Do have a Substack. I need to get some more articles up on there as well. Also, if anybody wants to do an interview, if anybody has any upcoming events that they want to promote, I'm also in the process of planning an event, probably here in Columbus, Ohio, where we will be discussing social equity, the war on drugs, cannabis prohibition, from the lens of Black men in urban America, and the role that cannabis prohibition has played in our communities. So be on the lookout for that. yeah, so definitely excited to start doing some more events outside of social media. Now that COVID seems to like officially be behind us, like I was doing virtual because we were in COVID, and I like in person, but obviously it's a lot of moving parts when you do in person events, and so um, we are definitely going to be working on that here in the near future. So if you want to support, we definitely look forward to getting donations, partnerships, collaborations, sponsorships. Again, I do not partner with any major cannabis brands in the state of Ohio. The only brand that I've done any collaboration with or partnership with thus far is App Girls Cannabis. Um, Other than that, we have not really partnered or supported any of these legal cannabis companies in the state of Ohio. So we are independent grassroots media platform. Oh yeah, make sure you follow us on all podcast platforms as well. So we're on Spotify, iTunes. Just type in Ohio Cannabis Report. I'll be updating some more podcasts on there shortly as well. Also, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to be on the show, let's say you are a cannabis connoisseur, let's say you're a grower, you're whatever, you have a story to share. We want to hear your story. So please contact me. You can DM me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram. You can email me at the bottom right there. You see the email, ohiocannabisreport@gmail.com. We want to hear your story. People got to share their stories, man. Like if cannabis helps you, you should be letting people know. You know what I mean? Like it just irks me how every weekend everybody could be on Instagram, Facebook with they drinks, with they alcohol, be partying. Oh, turn up. But we just gotta act like it's a bad thing. Like, no, celebrate that shit. If you don't like the dance, but then you smoke some weed and you like, hey, weed makes me feel better. Like we have to be the saviors of this shit. Stop expecting fucking losers and alcoholics and pill popping animals to save you, right? We are the saviors. So, cannabis makes me feel good. Like I probably wouldn't even do this shit. If it wasn't for weed, I wouldn't even heard from me. Honestly. I was cool chilling. Y'all gotta understand, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I got it made. My wife is the breadwinner. My wife is beautiful. She's amazing. She's intelligent, hardworking. You know what I mean? And so my life is amazing. Like I don't have to do nothing extra. You know what I mean? I work when I want to work, take care of my kids, create, build, travel, have fun. You know what I mean? Like this shit, like I told you, this is a passion project. I started this randomly one day. I was like, oh, nobody's talking about weed. Like I think they should be talking about it. So I'm gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? Like that's literally how I came up with Ohio Cannabis Report. Oh, I'm gonna follow all the shit going on because I can't afford $10 million right now, $15 million for a cannabis dispensary or a cultivator. Like, no. And I'm not even like, come on. I know 12K followers and 3.7 million views. I'm down to talk about the different markets. I'll bet. Give me your send me your email or send me an email at ohiocannabisreport@gmail.com. Send me your information and we'll schedule a time to talk. Yeah, and I mean, Ohioans need to talk about the market, man, and the industry. Like, there's so much wealth of knowledge here, and there'll be a lot of people online on that'll come and just talk about the industry. It's like, why aren't you sharing this information? Sharing this under a comment or telling everybody else that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Whole time you won't create a podcast. You won't create a YouTube show. You won't share your knowledge or information. Like there's only so much information. Like at certain points you have to share.
staying in, and we'll open a few more rooms in the next year, and we'll be able to just add to this to be able to get our filtered water needs. So with the Howlet, this is going to help protect any stagnant water. So this is one of our 10,000 gallon holding tanks. So if there's something, again, just like with the tap water, if we strip it clean, we also invite potential pathogens into our system. But when we want to make a batch for one of our rooms, we just want to give it one more sterilization just in case there's anything funky in there before we send it into our rooms. We are actually able to kind of control our wastewater. So a lot of systems will be about a 50-50.
I'm trying to see if I can see the breakdown of the counties that voted for issue 2.
We just need to finalize the filtration system and drop it into one of these big tanks.
Because it was like
formulated with a proprietary scientifically backed blend. EpiShield delivers up to 50%.
to look for that right now, but yeah, man, definitely send me that email. Again, if you're on Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Ohio Cannabis Report. Again, we like to have interviews, share perspectives, share information. Ain't no gatekeeping over here. We support small businesses. We support entrepreneurs. We support cannabis advocates and activists and nonprofit organizations. If you have an event and you want us to come to your event, let me know with enough, obviously information in advance. I'll try to make it and, get some content for the event. Like, we in the media space. So, I'll come do interviews. I can set up the podcast. We could do live podcasts. I'm in Columbus. I don't really like to travel too far too much, but if the travel is worth it, if the interview is worth it, I'll do it. I know I have an interview in Cincinnati coming up here soon for a podcast that we're working on scheduling. I don't mind doing virtual. I like people to be comfortable. So, I like people to be in the comfort of their own home so they could smoke if they want to smoke. They could roll up if they want to roll up whenever. The goal for me is to get a studio eventually. I'm doing this out of my home right now, my basement. But one of my goals is for Ohio Cannabis Report to be more of a network, to be more of like, I want to do some magazines, maybe like a little newspaper or something like that. But I definitely want a studio where we can have a studio podcast, bring people in, do different types of shows, documentaries, game shows. Like, I want to turn it into a whole thing, you know what I mean? But right now we really just focused on the news. We just focused on what's going on in the culture. But until then, we're going to keep building. So thank everybody. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Also in the comments, let me know where you're tuning in from, what county, what city, what state. Also, let me know what you like to smoke on, what you smoking on. What I got here. Not sure. I was gonna tell you. Okay. But all right, man. I'm about to hit the sheets. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time, I'll probably tune in tomorrow. Peace.